Today we're going to take a look at what I've started in my trays. I started some beet seeds. I'm going to show you how that has turned out. It did not go well, and I'll show you the trays here in a couple minutes, and then I'll take you down to the garden and show you what I've done and how things are progressing down there as well. But first, let me show you the beets that I started in 3 different trays, and I'll tell you what happened and what kind of mistakes I've made. Okay, I went ahead and set up a table here in my garage and put the trays that I started a few weeks back for beets, and it did not go well at all. I have very poor germination. I've got some beets, nowhere near what I've planted. And I was like, what in the world happened? And I went and did a little more investigating on my beet seeds. And it's kind of embarrassing to say, but my beet seeds were very old. I planted in this tray right here seeds that were at least 4 years old. So it did not go well at all. I've got some, but not enough to really talk about. This tray here, it did better. And this tray down here was really bad. So I've got some good beet seed that has not expired, or I would call expired. It's not real old. I didn't realize it was 4 years old, my seed. Time flies. But down here, underneath the 6-foot hoop, I have 2 different varieties of beet seed that I just planted in the ground. And both these varieties here, I did get from Haas Tools. And then next to it, I planted some champion radish, and next to it, probably 2 rows of the Bolero carrot. And I've got 4 pots there. 2 pots are carrots, and 2 are the lettuce. Here's the onion. It's growing. I've probably got, I think I got 5 rows of onion in there. But that's how it looks today. Of course, I have the bird netting over it, protecting it from the squirrels. But that's what's happened so far. I would consider the beet planting a failure for the trays that I've set up. First time I've ever done it. I would have probably done a lot better if I'd have checked the dates on the seeds to make sure that they were within date. I didn't realize I had them that long, you know. So anyway, lesson learned. Make sure you keep good seeds. Something that's at least a year, maybe 2 at the most. So that's what happened with the beets. I'll get some, but you know, it's no big deal. It's, you know, I learned something from it. Okay. Here's my grow light. Got a couple lights, and then I have a light overhead to start my plants. I'm using the Haas bottom tray and the Haas Tools 62 cell tray as well. I planted 5 varieties of peppers that I picked up from Haas, and then I had 1 variety of pepper that I just had over from last year. It's a bell pepper. The first one is this Anaheim chili. It's coming in pretty good. Next one. I have two different varieties of jalapenos. One is cinder, and one's just a regular jalapeno. And then I have a poblano, another jalapeno, and down here on the very end is a bell pepper, which I had that from last year. That's not a Haas Tools seed. But a quick view over the top of the tray, you can see they're all coming in really good. Some of the plants that have not broken up through the soil completely, you can see them, they're starting to. You can see the soil kind of popping up. And some of these cells that they don't look like there's a plant, there's a small green plants you can see starting to pop up through. I went ahead and planted all the seeds that I had simply because if I keep seeds, I forget when I've bought them, how old they are. Hopefully I can keep from making the same mistake I did with the beets and waste a lot of time and effort in growing something that's not going to do well at all because they were so old. So I'm just growing everything I have. It's way more than I need, all these little plants. But I figured, well, maybe I'll try selling them this spring. Maybe somebody will want some peppers in the community here where I live. Who knows? But that's how the peppers are doing. I went ahead and started them before the tomatoes because they do take a lot longer to germinate. The tomatoes aren't that bad. They're probably 7 to 10 days, probably around that time frame. And I'm going to go ahead and start that tray today since these peppers are doing so well. I don't have much space to start plants, so I'm going to move these off a mat and start my tomatoes. And I'll take you outside and I'll show you the tray that I have prepared for starting the tomato seeds. But the jalapenos or all these different varieties of peppers, they're doing good. I'm pleased with that. Hopefully that the beets that I planted direct seeded in the garden, hopefully they do a lot better. If not, it's not a big deal. We'll see what happens. I'm not a huge beet eater anyway. But I'll take you outside and show you the next tray. I'm getting ready to start. This is the next tray. This is where I'll be planting my tomatoes. I'm using the Haas bottom tray and of course the 162 tray or 162 cell tray from Haas as well. I pre-soaked the soil already. All I got to do is put the seeds in there and get them on the heat mat and under the lights. Now for the variety of tomatoes I'll be growing this year, two varieties I have they come from Haas Tools. One is the Tachi tomato and the next one is the Sun Gold tomato. The next one I'll be planting will be the beefsteak, and that's from Patriot Supply. And the last one is a red cherry tomato I'll be planting. It's a large cherry tomato. I thought I had some cherry tomatoes, found out I didn't. Had to go up to Ace or True Value and pick a pack of cherry tomatoes up. But I'm going to be planting these 4 varieties today. And of course I'm planting way more than I need. I'm going to plant them all because I don't want to make that mistake again of accidentally keeping something longer than I should. And it goes bad and have poor germination. So I'm going to go ahead and plant everything, and maybe I'll set up a couple tables out in the front yard and see if people want to buy some plants. If they do, great. If not, that's fine too, you know. It's really not much more effort into growing everything than just a few. It's the same amount of work, really. But that's what I'm planting. And as these germinate, I'll show you the success or failure of the tomatoes. But I fully expect to have a lot of success with this as well because everything is in date. And of course, Haas Tools, their seeds are great. I haven't had any trouble at all with them. Looking forward to trying these out. But that's it. That's what's going on for the day. Thanks for watching. And I'll get back with you in a few days. Thank you.